Welcome to a special episode of the Roman Galars, where Bridie and I get to talking about how much it actually costs travelling Australia full-time. This is a breakdown of our expenses for the first 3 months of our trip in 2025. Did we even say that? We didn't say we were going to do this. Definitely don't recommend that. Our biggest expense is...
I'm not surprised that it was that much.
From spending $1,900 a week down to about $900 a week. For those of you that are new to the channel, I'm Mitchell.
I'm Bridie.
And today's episode is going to be a bit of a special one. Today's episode is like completely up to date with our current travels. We were struggling, we've had technical difficulties, we were struggling to get this week's episode out. And Bridie looked at the calendar and she's like, oh,
yeah,
we've actually been 3 months on the road.
Yeah, as of the time you're watching this.
Yep, today.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow is exactly 3 months since we left home and said goodbye to our family and hit the road full time.
So yeah, this video is going to be a bit about our budget and, you know, how we got to where we are now. Let's get into a bit about us. I'm a sparky by trade, and that's what I was doing before we came on this trip.
And I've worked a few different jobs over my career lifetime, just like hospitality, school photography, bike education, all sorts of fun different jobs.
We're now on the road full time. That was always a part of our plan, and the Queensland trip that we went on last year just cemented that in for us.
Yeah, we've always loved travelling, so why not travel full time?
So we got home from our Queensland trip, we got to work, we had lots of things to do, we had a busy couple of months, we were flat out, and yeah, now we've managed to get to the point where we've been able to hit the road, and we're 3 months into that.
So our finances before we came, we have been saving for quite a few years because we always knew we wanted to travel, and generally people save money, so that's what we did. A little bit of boost before we came. We didn't need my car, so we sold that one. We just had the D-Max owned outright by Mitchell.
And then, like, with the savings that we'd saved for travelling, last year's trip, etc., we threw some of that money back into our house so that we could rent that out before we left. And then our caravan as well. So that's probably the one that we've done a bit differently to some other people. We got a loan for it. And I definitely don't recommend that, but it's a part of our plan and how we plan on doing this at this point in our life. It's doable, but yeah, definitely not recommended. So
with our savings, we actually left this trip with $30,000, and soon we're going to get into how much of that we've spent so far. Before we get into that, we left obviously 3 months ago. We said goodbye to our families. So far we have travelled through 2 states and just popped into our 3rd state. That is 90 days in our caravan and 2 nights in the swag.
And we're not going to reveal too much because, you know, we're a little bit behind on the YouTube videos, but like Bridie said, it's our 3rd state. We're chasing the warmth, and we went to Queensland last year, so you guys can do the state math. Another little clue, if I will, we're sitting in front of a river that starts with a P and ends with Entercost. So you can figure out the rest, I'm sure of it. So I guess, yeah, that brings us to exactly where we are now, 3 months down the road.
We get into the budget things.
Absolutely, and we've got the laptop here, so we might keep looking over there to reference that.
Yeah, we keep a spreadsheet of everything we spend, so we can keep track of all those things.
And which up until this point we haven't really used, but now that we can look at it, it's really good to let us know like where we should probably stop spending money. So I do recommend doing that. But anyway, we'll get into what our expenses are, and straight off the bat, our biggest expense is fuel. And I guess that was probably to be expected. We've spent $4,100 in fuel.
Not a lot we can do about that. The cost is the cost.
Australia's massive. You're travelling, you're gonna use fuel. Next biggest cost is for us, and this is one that will change from person to person. We've probably done it definitely, I think, the hard way, but bills. We've still got bills from at home. We've spent $3,760 on bills over the 3 months. That includes internet, Starlink, insurances, all that sort of jazz, a few bills from back at home. But it for reference, it doesn't include our mortgage. We've left that out because people's scenarios are different. That's just, yeah, the way that we've calculated this.
Another massive cost is food.
Who would have thought?
Got to eat, so you got to buy food. We spent $2,680 on food. That's just our normal shopping. Could be better, could be worse. That's just what we've spent.
And that's an expense that you've got at home anyway.
Our next cost is eating out. We've spent $1,200 on eating out. Again, that's personal choice. It's pretty hard when you drive past a pub that you haven't been for a while, and some experiences are like eating out. So
I think that's a good point. Like, you just pick your battles. There's sometimes it's time for a snitty. Other times, you know, you might, depends on, you got to weigh up the costs of. Next up is accommodation.
how much did we spend on accommodation?
$2,330.
Yeah, I'm not, like, I didn't really know, but I'm not surprised that it was that much, but also it could be more.
That's free camps, budget camps, caravan parks, and, you know, private properties that do some of those camping things.
So next up is maintenance and repairs. We spent $2,750 on that. That is, like, including car services, caravan services, and like all different bits and bobs, like the extra screws you need and stuff like that, the minor repairs that you need to do along the way. Yeah, anything could happen, so it's always good to have that little extra for those sorts of situations that come up.
Yeah, that's true. We haven't had any major breakdowns or anything like that. That is just maintenance. Yeah. Yes, valid point. And the next one, this one actually surprised me a lot. I don't know about you, but surprised me. Alcohol. We have only spent $445 in 3 months.
Which is good, I think, but also another unnecessary expense. $445 is make or break for our trip, but yeah, it's just money that we probably didn't really need to spend. Although on hot nights like this, it's pretty good to crack open a beer.
Next up on our list that we've done is activities.
Yeah, so we spent $1,110 on activities. You're going to spend money on those things because that's why you're traveling, but yeah, you can pick and choose what you want to do.
And yeah, like, yes, we had a budget, and I think we blew that within the second week of traveling. So things pop up that you kind of just have to roll with the punches and be like, you know, yes, I'm doing this today. Yes, it costs money. Cool.
Next on the list is just like miscellaneous stuff. This includes filling up the gas bottles, memberships to parks and national parks, that sort of stuff, and just other random stuff that you buy along the way, like, I don't know, what's the word? T-shirts and stuff like that.
I think it's worth mentioning though, I think we spent $80 on gas, and about $245 of that miscellaneous was like memberships and national parks and stuff like that, which brings us to our total, which is,
drum roll,
$18,600 for 3 months.
Yeah, so yeah, probably on the high end, I would say. We could do better spending less.
So, I don't know, the cameras are probably slightly moved. We've just continuing with our technical difficulties. Our GoPro keeps turning off because it's overheating. So we've just iced that down. The laptop's on an ice block. It's all happening over here.
It's hot.
It's hot.
Chase the sun, but don't chase it that much.
So anyway, we're saying total expenses, $18,600 for the 3 months, which brings it to a weekly average of about $14.50. So, not too bad, I think.
Yeah, it's not horrible, but probably could be a little bit better.
This is the bit that I do like, the monthly breakdown. We haven't gone too nuts with that, but in month 1 we spent $7,580, month 2 $7,300, and month 3 about $3,700. So I think the first 2 months were us finding our feet, covering a bit of ground.
Yeah, we definitely moved a lot in the first couple of months because we wanted to get certain places, and then now that we're in those places, we're slowing right down.
And just to put that into perspective, that's from spending $1,900 a week down to about $900 a week. So
it's a pretty good saving.
Yeah, we're pretty happy with how that's going at the moment.
In saying that, $900 a week is quite cheap, I think. I think moving forward, with us moving a little bit more, getting into actually travelling and whatnot, we'll probably spend between, I reckon, the 3 and the 7 grand. So
moving on from that part, changing gears to how we make money on the road. And short answer,
we don't.
I guess yet would be a
yeah, so we have a plan in place, but we're still getting our feet with that.
Obviously our funds are getting to the pointy end, as we've just spoken about. You know, you do the maths, but you're left with 30 grand, we spend 18 grand. If we need to get a job, we'll get a job. That's basically factored into how we were going to travel Australia. Another thing that we have been asked a couple of times is like how much YouTube pays us.
Currently nothing.
Yeah, yep. You need 1,000 subscribers. At this point in time we have 800. You know, we're doing it for a bit of a hobby, a bit of fun. Friends and family can follow along, and something for us to look back on that topic. You know, thank you to everyone, 803 I think it is at this point, people that have subscribed. A fun little fact that 83% of the people watching our videos aren't actually subscribed. So yeah,
like, it's free to do. It really helps us out. Like Mitchell said, we really appreciate it. So
I mean, we appreciate you watching as it is, but you know, just hit that subscribe button and we appreciate that even more.
Yeah, and if we do start making money through YouTube, we're going to be pretty transparent with that. We will make a video down the track if that happens on what we actually earn and how we earn that. So
yeah, absolutely. More than happy to share that sort of information because, you know, I've watched so many videos about that and it's very interesting, I think.
Yeah, I keep hearing like, don't start a YouTube channel on traveling because there's so many people out there, blah blah blah, but everyone does it differently. So you find your groove and do what you want to do. Like, someone out there is going to watch it.
Yeah, and even if it's just for that accountability of you're going to do this for you down the track, do it. Because like from editing our stuff from Queensland last year, there's so many stuff that it's like, oh wow, we did that. That's exciting, and that's only a year ago. So
yeah, so it's pretty good memories to look back on.
Absolutely.
Another car going past.
Gives me time to scroll. I don't even, did we even say that? We didn't say we were going to do this. Surprise! Now that we're here, we wanted to give 10 money hacks or money saving tips that we've kind of learned and discovered along the way.
So number one, obviously our biggest cost is fuel. So we use things like Petrol Spy. I think there's a few other apps you can use to actually plan ahead with filling up with fuel. Yeah, we've got a couple jerry cans as well that we carry, just so if there's a long distance between the cheaper fuel stations, then we'll fill up them just to get us past those ones.
As well as you can, you know, some of those member reward things, they offer fuel discounts, as well as you know,
4 cents off through Coles and stuff like that.
Shopping dockets, that's the one I was looking for.
And number two,
another pretty obvious one, I think, minimise eating out. You know, eat meals at home.
Yeah, absolutely. Cook at home if you can. You can get cheaper stuff and sort of push out your budget with that sort of stuff rather than stopping at the pub to get that snitty. As hard as it is sometimes. Yeah,
and it's not just the snitties at the pub, it's the $6 Coke at a servo when you're filling up, the packet of $7 chips, that adds up dramatically. You can get a 2 litre bottle of Coke for $2 at Coles. Those little $6 here and there don't seem much, but they add up.
Yeah, cool, and moving on to number 3.
Free camping, and that's where we've really dialed in this last month, and it saved us like massively.
Yeah, definitely. This last month we have free camps pretty much all month.
Yeah, for that as well, to try and plan ahead. We use Wiki Camps, which allows you to compare, you know, this one costs this much, this one's free, you know, find the ones that are, work for you. On the topic of that, while free camping is great, don't necessarily feel like you need to chase that, because if you're in a big town and need to be in a big town, but you decide that you want a free camp and you're an hour out of town and you need to go into town every day, it's probably not cost effective. Like, you're spending fuel there and back every day. At that point, it's probably worthwhile finding something a bit closer and just trying to find something a bit budget conscious that's a bit closer. Yeah,
that's a good point. And number 4.
Take advantage of free activities.
Take some hiking boots, drive out to lookouts, those sorts of things that are all awesome.
Yeah, there's lots of free stuff to do, and you know, that's why we're out here, is to see Australia. So, you know, while you're there, see it.
So number 5 is bring your own activity gear. Like, so we have snorkeling gear, a stand-up paddleboard in there that we haven't used yet. Just those sort of free things that you don't have to worry about higher cost, and you can have them anywhere for any time.
I like that one.
Perfect. And number 6.
Peak seasons. Now, it's impossible to, if you're travelling full time, to avoid peak seasons and all school holidays and stuff like that, but a tip there would be to plan ahead. When school holidays hit, and we didn't plan it very well, but it's not necessarily that, you know, places do bump up their pricing and stuff like that, but if you leave it to the last minute, you might get stuck having to stay at the most expensive place in town because there's no other spots available. Well, there's a fish. But just plan ahead for those peak times, you know, even if it's just plan to get to that free camp for a couple of weeks while school holidays is running or whatever you would say, and yeah, just disappear for those time frames.
So number 7 is Mitchell's big one about coffee.
Coffee. Bear with me.
So to save money and stop buying those coffees at truck stops or going past the coffee shop, Mitchell has
invested in a coffee machine. If I was drinking instant coffee all the time, I would probably be more inclined to go to truck stops and get a coffee as we're passing by, because it would smell too good. With this, I get pretty good coffee every morning and I don't need to worry about that. So I do recommend, whatever your taste in is coffee, make that work for you.
Or don't drink coffee.
Nah.
Like me. I like my tea.
Speaking of coffee, mine's probably gone cold.
The next one is alcohol. That's a personal preference. If you drink a lot, you're going to spend a lot. You can save on alcohol, just not buying it.
Not just not buying it, but at the pub, you know, when you get your snitty, don't go and get 2 or 3 drinks with that snitty afterwards. Buy a carton of beer, go have your snitty at your pub, and then go back to your caravan and have a few drinks.
Yeah.
Obviously different scenarios are different. You might be out socialising with people, that's cool too, but you can just minimise some costs there.
And number 9 is one that was a big one for us. Slow down your travel. Like, the less you travel, then move around a lot, the less fuel you use, stuff like that. So that's going to save on money as well.
That's obviously like, one, you've got to walk the line and find your travel plan or whatever. You're travelling Australia, so you have to move, but just don't get stuck going too slow, but don't move too fast either, otherwise you miss a lot of things and you spend a lot more money.
Yeah. It obviously differs between how much time you've got and what your plans are, but
yep.
Just keep that in mind.
Yep.
And lucky number 10.
Lucky number 10 is memberships. We've purchased a couple and I'll put some links into them below. CMCA was one that basically paid for itself within 2 weeks. Like, shop around, have a little bit of a look into them, and some of those memberships can be really savvy from a budget sort of perspective.
Yeah, another thing we did is also get like national park passes. So instead of buying a pass every time we go in and out of national park, we just bought the annual one because we're going to be in the States for quite a long time. So that saves money there.
Yep, we learned that one the hard way.
Yep. And Mitchell's got a couple last minute bonus tips for you. Speaking of, people are fishing.
Yeah, absolutely. Catch your own food. Not working for us at the moment, but people that are good at it and do it, and definitely save some money there.
If you've got any tips on how to do that, let us know.
Yep, that's please.
What are we in the negative on that? Just because we need to
God.
buy more lures all the time?
Yeah, I think the other night it was 2 from 2 lures to casts gone.
Yeah, that was a sad time. And lucky last.
Stand by. This is one that we kind of come up with the other day when we were like trying to meal prep and see how we could save some money, and it's, yeah, global spices. We had a recipe that had curry powder in it.
Yeah, so you cook like rice in curry powder and water, that sort of stuff, and it obviously makes the whole flavour of the meal. So we thought, what other spices can we use to do the same thing?
Yeah, and it turns out there's quite a few. We've got Mexican, we've got Chinese, and yeah, just, you know, it can change a bland meal to a delicious meal, and you can be having the same meal, but it can just, I don't know, change the dynamics of it. And
haven't tried them yet, so
that's true, actually.
It's just as good as the curry powder.
Stay tuned for that one. I reckon they both sound pretty nice though. That's our top, I don't know, 10 and a half, 11 tips on how to save money. Some of them are ones you've probably heard all the time. Some of them might be our twist on that. Hopefully there's some other ones in there that you haven't thought of yet, or, you know, hopefully they're just helpful anyway.
Yeah, so thank you for taking the time out watching this video today. It's not like our normal stuff that we do. It just worked out that we could release this on our 3 months.
Yeah, it actually worked out perfect.
Next week we'll get back into the fun stuff.
And yeah, again, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and, you know, follow along a few of our other videos. We've travelled Queensland last year and that was really exciting. So
just quickly, one thing that we do every time we get a new subscriber: high five. Make our hands sore.
Yeah. Yep. Please.
Perfect. Thank you guys. We'll see you next week. Action-packed episode.
Next week. Can we do that again?
Thanks again, guys. We'll see you guys next week with an action-packed episode.
Thanks, guys.